So, guys, two Wil Wheaton videos in 1 week. We're blessed. Now, this one is going back about a year ago, just about a year, when Larry David, the comedian, the actor, of course, creator of Seinfeld, Curb Your Enthusiasm, probably considered, I'd say, one of the funniest, certainly one of the top funniest guys in Hollywood ever, just with Seinfeld alone, and now Curb Your Enthusiasm and his other projects. So he went on the Today Show and he was waiting to be interviewed. And before his interview, before he came on, was Elmo, of course. Elmo, Elmo. Can't even do that voice. Elmo, love you. And Elmo was on talking, I guess it was about kind of mental health and how that's important. And I think Elmo had tweeted something. Elmo tweeted something about mental health, like how are you? How are you doing? Just a simple how are you doing? And everybody was like, oh, life sucks or whatever. And it became a big conversation. So the Today Show had him on, had his puppeteer, his muppeteer, anyway. So Larry David is waiting sort of in the wings, nearby, waiting to get interviewed. And he playfully ran over and he kind of throttled and, manhandled, Muppet handled Elmo. And so Elmo kind of screamed, Mr. Larry, I used to like you, sit down or whatever. And then they made a big joke of it. And Larry David apologized when he came on with his segment. He apologized. But this was not good enough for Wil Wheaton, for also known as alter ego of Wesley Crusher from Star Trek. This was not good enough, and he ranted and raved and raged that Larry David was an evil person, that he was completely out of line, and then he brought up something very sad about his own upbringing and his emotional abuse from his father. I guess a mixed physical and emotional abuse. He said his dad used to kind of do the same behavior. He would throttle, Will as a kid and scream, and it's very sad. It's very sad. But I'm just thinking, are you like it's a little overboard? And I think that's what everyone was saying, that this is a little overboard behavior. And I think out of all the things I found online in reference, the great author, Joyce Carol Oates, one of the most respected writers and authors in America, said, quote, "We can imagine how this highly sensitive individual reacts to assaults on actual persons as in war. Assume he can barely draw breath reacting to the war in Gaza in proportion to the comic assault on an inanimate puppet. Such empathy." And so I kind of have to agree with Joyce Carol Oates, but from where I'm coming from and standing here, I think that one of the things that Wil Wheaton accused Larry David of, he said, you wanted to make this to a viral moment. You wanted to make this your moment and take the spotlight off Elmo and make it a viral moment so you could exploit it and such. Perhaps, I mean, I guess that's a fair charge in one way. But I'm thinking that, you know what, Will? You know what, Wesley Crusher? You're doing the same. That maybe you think, maybe he was promoting a book or a project or whatever it was, and he figured, well, I'll get into this conversation now, and I'll rage, unbelievably rage, maybe disproportionately rage against this, and I'll get some, you know, X, Twitter. I think he's off Twitter, X, whatever, Instagram, or some love, some attention. So what do you think? I think the whole thing in one way is ridiculous. I do even appreciate what Will is saying, that it could, kids watching, for example, kids watching, they might have gotten a little disturbed, but the clip has him laughing and they're laughing. He apologizes, so I don't think there's really any lasting damage. And you could argue, of course, if Dr. Phil, if a psychiatrist, if a professional was up there talking about mental health, I highly doubt Larry David would do the same thing. Maybe he'd go over and make it a joke and not, and not do anything physical. And Larry says, well, I just kept, hearing this puppet talk about mental health and I just couldn't take it anymore. Maybe that was true as well. Maybe it wasn't just a big joke. So what do you think? Give us your feedback. Is Wil Wheaton right to attack Larry David for attacking Elmo, or is it just a big kind of nothing burger? Is it a shut up Wesley moment? What do you think? Give us your thoughts. Hope you're enjoying. Hope you're subscribing. See you soon.